everybody. I'm delighted that I managed to reach out to Beth Macari this week, and she's very graciously agreed to come back on the show. So, Beth, welcome back on the 44 to 501 show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me back.
Oh, it's lovely and thank you ever so much for taking the time to speak with us. First question: how's your gran?
My grandma's okay, which is good. It's funny you ask. Actually, literally last week she was rushed into hospital. The RVI is a hospital over Newcastle, and she was rushed in, and she was in for a few days, and it was really bad. But then now, miraculously, she's like back to just loving. Well, not living life. It's not a great life at the minute, to be fair, with what's going on, but she's fully well again. Like, I feel like she's a bit of a magician. She goes from like being really bad to being like totally fine for a little while. So,
oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So have you managed to get to see her? Because I know the last time we spoke,
No.
you weren't allowed to see her. Is that still the case? How are the COVID restrictions in Newcastle at the moment?
Well, it eased off for a while, so then I did get to see her. Like, I got to go into her back garden and sing to her from a distance and all this, and it was fine. But we're back to not being able to mix households and stuff. So I haven't seen her in a little while, but we're FaceTime every day. So that's something.
Yeah. So how's your summer been?
It's been an odd one.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful. I've kept very busy, and I actually, well, not really summer, but last month I got to perform at the first outdoor socially distanced arena. So it was the Virgin Money Unity Arena, I think it was called. And I got to support Alfie Bow at that, which was incredible. And it was crazy because it was like my first proper gig of the year, because of COVID and everything, and because my focus earlier on in the year had obviously been recording the EP and doing the videos and everything. I hadn't yet gigged with the original music. So my first gig back was during all of this craziness at a massive outdoor arena. So it was crazy. It was amazing, but it was crazy. So there's been highlights like that, but obviously it's been very weird.
Yeah, because I remember tuning in earlier on in the year. Didn't you do something down at, was it the Opera House in Newcastle? A virtual concert?
Yeah.
What was that like? It must have been very strange performing without an audience.
It was. We were supporting this massive brass band who made use of the full stage. So we got put in the kind of, it's like the place between where the theatre bar is and backstage. It's like the in-between. And they'd set up like some lovely lights, and they'd set up a big camera, which I had to look into. But it was a very thin corridor that we were in, and I was just singing to a wall. Oh. So it was odd. It was really odd. Obviously, the cameraman was there wearing his mask, and I was trying to sing my heart out to him, but I didn't want to make him uncomfortable at the same time. So for the majority, I was just singing to a wall, which was odd. Yeah. But it was good just to be back with my band, because obviously I hadn't seen them. I wasn't allowed to, so we obviously didn't get to rehearse or anything. And then this came out of thin air, the gig, and I was like, oh my God, let's jump at it.
Oh, that's super. Tell us a bit about how you came to being on the same bill as Alfie Bow and approach you. There must be a bit of a backstory there.
Yeah, so the company, they're called SSD. They put on some of the biggest gigs across the Northeast and further. But so like they're associated with the O2 Academy in Newcastle. They've got some great venues like Think Tank and Riverside, and I've sang at all of those venues many times. I supported PP Arnold, who's an incredible soul singer, at the Riverside. Very wise lady. I'm sure she was like 78, and she still gigs now. And the story she told us was phenomenal. So I've had many great opportunities through this company already. And they got in touch with me to support Rumours of Fleetwood Mac. So I actually got to do the arena gig twice, which was insane. I was the only person that was able to perform on that massive, incredible stage 2 times. And so basically they selected me for the Rumours of Fleetwood Mac gig, which was incredible. And then the Alfie Bow one, his management kind of got given a bunch of options for who could support, and then they selected me. So that's how I managed to get the 2 gigs, which was so great. But I mean, it was great. People keep saying it was like, was it different to normal gigs? Because obviously with it being socially distanced, I think it held like 2,500 people. In the first 1,000 in like plus were in booths, and it was 6 people per booth. And they were all like very far, like very spread very far apart from each other. And then the second The second lot were on raised platforms, obviously to see over the front lot. So as much as everyone was really far apart and it was on this massive field spread so far back, it was still incredible because you could just see people loving life. People were videoing, people were clapping, they could dance in their booths. So it was actually, I was just so happy to be back on stage, and the fact that it was a massive one. It was great. It was really, and they were so cautious. Like, they had sanitizers in every booth. All the chairs are cleaned before anyone enters. You have to wear your masks around the facility. So it was strict, but not strict enough that people couldn't enjoy it or get that sense of being at a live gig.
I did want to ask you, because I remember the last time you were on, it was for I Am, which you did as a charity single. How did that work out? How much did you manage to raise? Do you know yet? Or is it still going on?
Well, it's going on forever, in the sense, for as long as that single's released, any money made from it will go to them. But because of the way, obviously, getting your royalties and everything works, or like sales, it's like quarterly. So I haven't yet received a PRS report or anything to say how much has been raised, or how much the single's made. But as soon as I get my first report, I'll just be obviously sending that straight across to them. But through Facebook donations, there was £500 sent across to them straight away, like before the single had even done much, through people's kind generosity, just donating. And then I've done a couple of live streams where people have been able to donate through that as well. So the money will hopefully be ongoing, and I'm going to keep on trying to push the message of how important mental health is, because it really is.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure that there's been a lot of talk over here about the increase that we've seen in certain sorts of crimes, which unfortunately on the domestic side, inevitably, some of that tracks back to mental health as well. So tell us about how you went about writing your newest song that you've released. What was your writing process, and tell us about the song How to Love.
How to Love is very much an honest love song about, I was going to say, the pros and cons, but like the beautiful moments and the not so beautiful moments, not even just in a relationship, but in a friendship. And it's just about, if something, like, every human being is so different. There's no two people alike, if you know what I mean. And the song's about, it's important that you choose who you allow into your life, because of talking about mental health and stuff. You want to always have positive and loving, kind people around you, a good support system. And that's what I'm so grateful to have. And the song's about how you deal with friendships and relationships when there are lows, when you have to deal with something you've never dealt with before, like making sure you support one another no matter what, and just come out the other end stronger. So that's the main, like, backline to the story. And I actually wrote it quite a while ago, or started it. I would say 2.5 years ago, I'd started the song. I obviously needed to kind of vent on paper, and just came up with the chorus. I was thinking about, how do you love? How do you get through these darker patches? And how do you really embrace the best moments? And then at the end of last year, when I found the recording on my phone, which was like nearly a year and a bit old, I was like, this could be something. So then I sat with my drummer, and we together just started to build a track. And then I finished the song, got the band to come in and make it a bit more soulful musically, and then in no time it was together.
Oh, great! Well, I do like it, and I will be playing it later in the show. In fact, actually, I'm going to ask you somewhat cheekily if you would introduce it again.
I absolutely will. I get nervous every time you ask this.
Okay, all right. Well, here's a good random question. Have you heard the new track that's a collaboration between a girl called Melody Gardot? She's from Philadelphia, where I used to live, and Sting.
Ooh, I have not.
Oh, you need to go search that out, because my question is, who would you like to do a collaboration and a duet with?
Ooh. Do I have to be alive?
Well, it would be helpful.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But that said, through the joys of modern technology, who just recently did, not recently, I think it was Natalie Cole did a duet with her dad.
Oh.
But her dad, of course, is long time gone.
I remember seeing years ago, Katie Melua did a one with Eva Cassidy, who's obviously passed away ages ago and stuff, and that was beautiful. Like a gorgeous duet. Like,
Yes.
it was just
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, okay. Well, at the minute, and I might have said this last time, whenever I've been asked about people that I'm really enjoying, I love Billie Eilish's brother is called Phineas. And he was actually recently on the front of American Songwriter magazine, and I got featured in it with I Am. They did a lovely write-up. So I was buzzing to be in the same magazine that he was on the front of.
Yeah.
But his music, I just think, is so gorgeous. Like, I really like his music. So he does a lot of the writing and the producing for Billie Eilish. So he's a very talented chap. So I think my answer is definitely going to be Phineas.
Okay.
Cool.
So when is the next chapter coming out, and what's it about?
Well, do you want to know a little something that I have not told anyone yet? I seem to do this every time. You always catch me when I'm busy. So the final chapter of the EP is not actually getting released to download or to buy or anything. But it is going to still come out in the sense, I might have mentioned, obviously, each single from the EP has a music video to accompany it.
Yes.
And so at the end of the EP, the idea was, and still is, that all 5 singles, the music videos get kind of blended together and they make one short film kind of thing, like a short documentary. And it's basically just all the 5 videos put together to make one long video. So that is still the plan. That is still going to happen. So the music video and the 5th song from the EP will be available if you watch the short film. However, for reasons of my own, I've decided not to release it to the world where it can be streamed and downloaded, which my mum is very annoyed at. She's like, what are you doing that for? But I think sometimes you just got to go with your gut, and I've just decided that this is what I want to do. But it's called Queens. The next single is called Queens. That is an exclusive for y'all. But it's not quite decided on when it will come out and when the EP is definitely going to be released yet. I'm looking at next month.
Right.
We'll see.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Beth, thank you very much. Would you like to introduce How to Love?
This is Beth Macari, and you're listening to my latest single, and it's called How to Love.